Hey everyone, thanks for joining in to the eMaint product demonstration. My name is Janine Appalucci. I'm a sales account executive with eMaint. Going to be taking you through the high-level overview of the eMaint software as well as a background of who we are. So if you are to come on board as an eMaint customer, you have a good understanding of how we're going to deliver CMMS success to you and your team. So on the agenda today, the quick intro and background to start, then we'll be spending bulk of the time in the system demonstration, and then we'll wrap up. So we've been in business for over 30 years. We have a lot of experience in the CMMS marketplace. We support over 50,000 users in 55 countries worldwide, and we have over a 90% renewal rate or retention rate. And that's something that we're extremely proud of here at eMaint. That's a lifetime average. We've also been recently acquired by Fluke Corporation. It's a bit of a little over a year of a relationship with them now. We're building direct integration with Fluke Connect products and having those readings push automatically into eMaint. So there's definitely a lot of history with eMaint, and there's a very broad future in front of us with the integration with Fluke, as well as some of the new functionality that's going to be rolled out very soon. And we cater to a variety of different industries. So we're not just manufacturing facilities. We have many fleet, oil and gas, school districts, healthcare, nonprofits, just to name a few. And we also cater to a variety of different size organizations. So 1 to 2 user businesses up to large 400 to 500 organizations. Really just a great indication of how flexible and user-friendly our software really is. So we meet the needs of your organization as you guys are in the state currently. So maybe you're looking just to fix a critical issue. So implementing, a preventative maintenance platform, managing your corrective maintenance, and then in the future, hoping to grow to more of a predictive state or managing inventory, things like that. So our system is built to grow and scale with you. We have many multi-site clients as well. So not just, 1, 2 locations. We have organizations that have 50 plus sites utilizing our system. So we have a lot of experience. We can bring that experience as well as some best practices to your organization. I like to show this side. It's really about what you're going to get out of the system. It's not just, hey, here's a system, best of luck to you. It's about making sure the system's working exactly how you'd like it, making sure you get that return on your investment. So these are just some examples of our current customers' ROI they've been able to achieve upon implementing our solution. We have more case studies available on our website, ranging to a variety of different industries. If you are interested, feel free to reply back to my email from the recording, and I'm happy to share those with you directly. And just some additional advantages that eMaint's going to bring to your organization. So helping you increase the visibility and transparency is typically, the key. Right now, if you're not having a system in place, you're managing everything by Excel or paper, it's really difficult to know what's in queue, what's been done, and what's outstanding. So eMaint will help you increase that visibility and transparency in what's happening in your business, help you reduce equipment downtime. So being more preventative instead of reactive helps extend the life of your assets in turn. Also help create paperless environments, increase your worker productivity, reduce maintenance costs, and help you meet any regulatory standards that you need to comply with through a reporting engine. As I mentioned, we have a 90% renewal rate or success rate year after year. Unfortunately, in this industry, there is up to an 80% CMMS implementation failure rate. What it really stems from, what we learned, is a system not being easy to use. So if it's not easy to use, like anything else, it won't get used. There's also typically a lack of training and support, especially during implementation where it's most critical. You want to make sure your assets are set up properly. The PMs are generating when you expect them to generate. Your team knows how to access and utilize the new system. You also want to make sure, so if you're coming from another, CMMS solution that's no longer working, we can work with you guys to have that data converted into the eMaint format. So you're not worrying about losing all that history. It can come with you into the eMaint platform. So we would never just provide you a software and say, hey, here you go, good luck with it. It's about building that vendor partnership. That's how we've been so successful. That's how we've had our clients achieve that ROI, and that's why we have one of the highest retention rates in the industry. So it begins at your onboarding, your implementation, go live, and then it goes into continuous improvement. So you're going to work with a team of experts when you come on board to eMaint to make sure your implementation goes smooth, your go live is on target, and that your future goals are being met. So you'd have a dedicated customer success manager assigned to your account to work with you guys one-on-one. So they're going to help you with your implementation in addition to the implementation specialist. You're also going to have unlimited technical support. So in addition to your customer success manager implementation specialist, you have unlimited access to our technical specialists. So you can call, chat, or email in to them with any of your questions, any assistance that you guys may need. We also have trainers, consultants, product specialists. Primarily everything is done through eMaint. We do not contract anything out. And we have training, so we understand everyone learns and trains differently. Everyone's on a different path on their CMMS journey. So we provide additional training options. We have our eMaint University where you can log on at any point, take interactive training courses for you and your team. And you're not capped at a certain amount of hours or a certain amount of courses. It's there whenever you need it throughout the entire time you're a customer of ours. We also have a community and knowledge base, which is more or less a forum. So you're able to log in. You can research different documentations on the system, chat with some of the other users, hear their kind of use case and what they're doing day in and day out, kind of hear best practices. Also submit product ideas. So a lot of our updates and upgrades come directly from the customers themselves. So we really like to hear from you, what's going to make your life easier. We also host a variety of best practice webinars as well as live web workshops, and they're held monthly. We change up the topics each month. If you guys are interested in the next best practice webinar, I'm happy to share that with you. We also have that schedule right on our website with the topics as well. And we have additional training options. We have a state-of-the-art training facility down in Bonita Springs, Florida, where you can kind of take yourself in your own element, immerse yourself in eMaint with our 3-day live instructor-led classroom training sessions. That's what we call our boot camp training. So we have a variety of different courses depending on the different areas that you're looking to focus in on, or we can come to you. We have custom training. We have trainers that could be on site, boots on the ground, training you and your team in your live account, or you can bring your entire team down to our training facility in Bonita Springs, whatever works best for you. And we host a variety of different conferences throughout the year. We have kind of bringing the best of eMaint on a road show. And we also have a large user group conference that we host yearly in the fall. Now, we are a full service solution, so it's not just providing you a full featured system, but all the consulting, any implementation assistance, any technical assistance you guys may need. So as I mentioned, we can help you with the data conversion. So if you're coming from a CMMS that's no longer working for you, you can provide us with a backup file of that data. We would review it and convert it into a format that's importable into eMaint. We also do computer system validation. We can help with the project management support, project kickoff, as well as some consulting. So if you need assistance and, I have no idea where to start, I don't know how to structure the system, no idea on the parent-child relationships I want to create, that's where we come in. So we can have our engineering services team on site to assist you guys to make sure your implementation goes smooth, the system is set up to how you kind of envisioned, and providing best practices along the way. And that's in addition to that customer success manager that I mentioned and that implementation specialist. You are able to integrate other systems with our solution. So if you have an ERP system, if you have PLCs, any monitoring devices, you're able to capture all that data and it can be pushed into eMaint for more of that predictive maintenance. So you can set up different thresholds. All those readings can be in one location. So it's like a centralized solution for you and your team, or a financial system. So if you have, you're tracking all your costs, maybe your purchases for parts in another solution, that information can be pushed back and forth. So there's no kind of labor needed for you to export or import. It'll be a seamless transition through integration. Now, so for today's demonstration, as I mentioned, high-level overview of the functionality that we have to offer. We're going to be focusing on asset management, going into work management. So we're going to talk about corrective maintenance, preventative maintenance, touching on inventory, go into our mobile solution, so being able to see kind of a day in the life of what a maintenance technician would see. and then we'll wrap up with reports and dashboards. Now, if there's anything that maybe I don't talk about in today's demonstration, something that you'd like to talk about in a little more detail or interested to know if our system can have the ability to do that, I'm happy to set up a one-on-one product demonstration with you guys for your unique use case. So I'm going to head and jump into my account. So I'm already logged in, and I'm logged in as an administrator. So I have all the access to me, available to me through the system. Now, our system is strictly web-based. You log on like you would in online banking. We provide a login and password for you. You can use it on any type of device, so smartphone, tablet, laptop, desktop. Now, some navigational things before we get started. So the one question I always usually get, since I'm logged in and as administrator, maybe you have different roles, different people are going to be needing to log in, but you don't want them to have that level of access. So you can definitely set limitations on what each person can see and do within our solution. So maybe you have, yourself as an administrator, but you have a full-time maintenance technician that, they need a little bit more access than some of your part-time guys, or a maintenance lead. So you can give them kind of access with limitations on what they can change and see. Maybe they can still assign out work, but they can't delete any records, and they can't create reports, and they can't approve work requests, for example. You can also really make this system kind of with your own branding. So you can have your company logo up here at the top. Each user has the ability to change the different theme settings, so the different colors that you see. You can make your own themes if you'd like. I'm going to switch mine back. You can increase the font size. So I have it pretty increased, or if you want some more working space, you could decrease if you want. Change the menu layouts. Now, over here on the left, that menu that I just moved up to the top and switched back over, these are the different modules we're going to be working through today. So we have more modules or functionality that I have shown here. Again, today's just a high-level overview. We're going to be focusing, starting off on assets. So if I wanted to pull up all of my assets, and an asset's anything you want to keep a history of maintenance on. So a lawn can be an asset. You have multiple buildings, they're assets. The equipment within those buildings are considered assets. They'll be all listed here in the list view. We also have interactive plans. Great thing about that. So maybe you have, a campus, a school campus. Maybe you have floor plans of an apartment building, or a piece of machinery if you'd like. You can have it loaded up in here, and I have pins. So these are the different assets that I'm tracking on this floor plan. So I can click on exactly what I'm looking for and find that piece of equipment. So this is my HVAC unit I need. Increase it, decrease it if needed. Now if I want to pull up inventory, I have to just click inventory. If I want to see my dashboards, just click dashboard. So pretty simple to navigate. Now you can hide information. So maybe you don't need projects or inventory. These could be hidden from view, so you won't even have to see those. Now, I'm going to start off with the assets. Now I'm in my list view here. Again, the other option you have would be going through the interactive plans, going through the floor plans, or schematics of a piece of equipment that you have pins on that you can click and find exactly what you're looking for. The other way you can navigate your assets is through our asset hierarchy. So over here on the right-hand side, you can set up a different hierarchy to navigate the information that you're looking for. So I have it set up as site to building, and then down to the piece of equipment that I'm looking for. You can set it up any way you'd like. You can go 5 levels deep. So I can have maybe a customer name from there, all the piece of equipment that I'm managing for my customer, for example. Or maybe you have different floors. You have floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, and see everything that is within those floors. So I'm just going to hit apply and save that. And then I can easily just click on, so here's my building A, the different areas within the building, down to that piece of equipment that I'm looking for, or location that I'm looking for. I'm going to go ahead and hide this from view so I have a little bit more working space. Now I can easily search and sort up here at the top. So you can add different filters, as we call them. So I can add additional filters on here if I'd like, delete, rename them, rearrange these so I can easily drag and drop the layout of my search filters. Now, if I want to pull up everything, say with forklift in there, I just type in forklift and I'll find exactly what I'm looking for. Maybe I want to pull it up by department. So I want to pull up everything in my fleet department. Here's everything that I have within there. Or I can just type in, let's say, I want to see my HVACs. Here are all my HVAC units. And then where in the facility or which building that they're located in. I'm going to jump into an example of what an asset record could look like now. So I have different fields on this form. Now, we do have templates already built into eMaint that you can use right from the get-go with, key fields that we hear from our customers that, are critical to them. But the great thing about eMaint is you really tailor it to your specific organization. If there's not a field in the system, it can easily be created. That's included in your subscription. You can do it yourself. You can reach out to your customer success manager. And that's also what's going to take place during implementation. So you're going to build all your forms if you want, all your asset forms, your work request forms, your work order forms, for example, any reports that you would like to see. So I have my key fields on my asset form here. Location, make, model, serial number. I can track how many active work orders are against this. If this piece of equipment is available, maybe it's retired or disabled because it needs repair. I keep track of depreciation as well, so original purchase costs, and I can create reports that I can see tracking depreciation of my equipment. Now, you can also generate barcodes, QR code labels for assets as well as your inventory. Now, everything I need for this piece of equipment is in this one location. I don't have to worry about jumping around or, digging through the stack of papers that are on my desk to see, when service is due or finding that manual needed for this HVAC unit. So if I want to see the preventative maintenance schedules I have on this, all I have to do are go to the tabs up here at the top. So I can see all the scheduled activity. I see my HVAC system check, monthly filter change, my inspection. We're going to go back and go into a little bit of a deeper dive on this in just a second. I'm able actually to create parent-child relationships. So within my HVAC unit, I'm tracking the air compressor, as well as asset documents. So I can keep track of warranty information, specs, manuals, things like that. So everything's all in one location. I don't have to worry about keeping that manual anymore in my file. I can save it right on to my eMaint system, as well as some additional related table items. Keep track of meter readings. You can import those from another system that's capturing those for you, or you can manually enter if you'd like. Warranty information. I can see the work history. So if I say to myself, gosh, I keep getting work requests for this specific HVAC unit, I want to know how much money I actually sunk into it. Here I can see all my preventative, corrective, who I had it assigned out to, a brief description of what was done, and total cost. So all the parts, all the labor, all miscellaneous charges that are tied to the work orders against this piece of equipment would be shown here. Now I can search by date range. I don't have to do a filter or a search for everything I've done. So I can easily search by a certain date range to really drill down to a specific month or day. Let's just do from August to a few days from now. So here's all the work that was done and the cost within that time. It really comes into play when you're looking for budgeting. So maybe it's time to replace this piece of equipment. This is how you're going to justify to do so. All the related parts, so all the belts, coils, bearings, anything that's needed for this piece of equipment can be tracked here. So there's never a question of, what was that filter again? I need to grab that. Not sure where it is. You can go to that piece of equipment and then find that piece, that part specifically. So now I'm going to go back to scheduled activity. We're going to dive into the work management portion of the system, starting off with preventative maintenance. Then we'll go into corrective. So I'm going to go into my HVAC system check here. So you're able to set up PM schedules on a couple different frequencies. It's going to be on a calendar base, meter base, or both, depending on what that piece of equipment needs. I can set the date that I want this to produce, estimated hours and days to complete, as well as who I want this assigned out to. So you don't have to have this filled out just yet, but a lot of our customers really like to pre-assign work. So maybe you have a maintenance technician that's responsible for specific pieces of equipment or for a specific department or a specific location, for example. That can be pre-assigned out, so once it comes due, that technician would know the work's assigned to them. Now, I can skip certain days. So if I never want this to produce on a Saturday or Sunday, I can make sure I skip those days. I have a detailed description of what needs to get done, so there's no question. Now, you do have the ability to upload pictures, manuals, anything that's needed can be also uploaded on this form. I can attach the parts. So if I know they need a certain filter, they need a certain belt, as well as procedures. So you can have check boxes. So a simple checkbox that says complete, pass, fail if you'd like. If multiple people have to be assigned out to a work order or preventive maintenance, that can be easily done. And again, as I mentioned, you can upload documents if needed too. So I can wait for this to come due. I can wait till April 12th, but I'll be waiting a long time. For today's demonstration, I'm just going to manually generate this, turn this into a work order so you see what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and manually generate this. Now this is a work order. It's an active work order that my technician, Janine, is going to get notified either by myself, so I can print this out and hand it to her and say, hey, here's your work for the day. This is what I need you to do. Or I can give her access to the system, which I'll go into in just a second. We have what's called Tech Select. It's a limited access to the system on a smartphone or tablet device only. They can log on, they can see all the work assigned to them, they're able to sign on and sign off so you can track their labor on jobs, they can add parts, pictures, things like that, and close it out. So I'll go into a little more detail in just a couple minutes. So as I mentioned, all that information from the PM carried over. Now I can print this out and hand it to them if I like, and download the PDF and print it. I can email a copy. So maybe I don't want them to have access, but I still want to send them work electronically. I can email this over to them. I can send a note too, saying make sure you get this done right away. Or I can give them access. So I'm going to put on my technician's cap now. I'm going to be Technician Janine. I have my tablet. I'm ready to go for the day. I'm going to go to the menu, work orders, and I'm going to go to my work orders. And here's all the work that I have assigned to me. So it's just one work order. Here is all the information I need. Again, as I mentioned on the asset form that we're talking about, you can add additional fields to here. You can delete fields, rename fields. Here's my work description. Now, if I uploaded an image, it would be shown here. So as a technician, I can see my work. Okay, I'm there. I'm going to click sign on because I'm tracking my labor on how long it took me. Now I'm doing my job. I can add charges. So I can add parts and labor and miscellaneous charges if needed. I can get a signature sign off. So if I have to go to maybe, another manager who submitted a request or just get a signature saying, hey, yep, your technician was here, they did a good job, I can have their signature carry over on this closed work order. Upload images. So upload before and after pictures if you'd like. Now, once I'm done doing my job, all I have to do is hit sign off. And then I'll calculate my labor for me. I don't have to manually enter anything. And then I can close out my work order. Now, we do hear often, I don't want my technicians closing out their work orders. I need to review it before it's closed out. I need to make sure the job and everything's entered properly. So that can be done within eMaint. They'd have the ability to change the work order status to complete. I don't have it set up today, but it can be done. And then the manager will get notified. The work order has marked complete. They can review it and close it out from the admin view. But in this example, I'm just going to go ahead and close out my work order. Now you have a configurable closeout form as well, so I can fill in any information needed. I can put a requires follow-up. So maybe I noticed that something else was broken, or I didn't have the tools to get something done specifically, but I did most of it. I can put a requires follow-up so a secondary work order is created, and then I can close it out. Once it's closed, that's it. I can move on to my next job. There's no waiting to the end of the day to get that paper work order back. There's no having to worry about, was it done, was it not done? Once a technician closes out a work order in their Tech Select view, it's going to update the admin view. So you're going to get real-time updates on what's been done for the day, what's still outstanding for the day. So you have, like I mentioned before, increased visibility, increased transparency in what's happening within your business. So I'm going to go back to the admin view and do a quick refresh. So this work order that we were just working on will go from open to H to historical. And then I can see any of the work charges. So here's the labor. It automatically calculates and carry over. Now, if you're a service provider or you bill out the work that you're doing, I'm able to, easily create invoices. The system actually automatically do it for me. So here's the invoice based on the charges. I can print it. I can email it over to someone if I'd like. Now we know not all work is preventative, it's also corrective. So you do have the ability to have your employees, customers, tenants submit work requests directly into eMaint electronically. So they're not going to be stopping you in the hallway or flagging you down or calling you or paging you. I don't know if anyone still pages anyone, but it can be done. They're not going to need to do that now with eMaint with the work request options that we offer. So we have 3 different options. One is an email. So we provide you a unique email address. In the body of the email, they're able to submit, the issue, hit send, and that's it. And then it will go to you within the system. The other option is a work request user account. Now these are sold in packs of 10. It's a limited login and password that the requesters would have. They're able to view previous requests they submitted, see the status of current requests that they have, and you can even push certain reports out to that view too. So it's a little bit more. Typically, it's given to maybe supervisors of one department if they are the ones submitting the work request for that group, or we do have many tenants who have their own login and passwords for HOA communities, for example. And the other most popular option is hyperlink. It's a hyperlink that you can put on your intranet, on desktops across the facility, on your website. And it's a form, a work request form that will be filled out. So I'm going to show you one similar to this here. So it would be a hyperlink they could click on, a work request form pop up like this. They could fill out all the information. Now, they wouldn't see that to view. This is the only view that they would see here. I can enter in if you want them to put in the asset. So here's where the floor plans come in. So maybe they don't know the name of the asset or, the asset ID, but they know exactly where it is. Here I have a diagram of a HOA community. They can choose on the map exactly what area. So here's that HVAC unit that we're having issues with. I can put in a problem type if you want. If it's up or down, that's if you're looking to track your downtime on equipment. Brief description. So it's too hot in here. And then they can put additional information. You also have a field where they can upload pictures, documents, things like that. But once I hit send, it's going to be entered into the system as a work request. So I'm going to head and get out of this really quick, and I'm going to go back. So now I'm putting my admin hat back on, and I got a notification. So whenever a new request would come in, I would get a notification saying, hey, work request came in. I'd get notification by email or text message alert. So here is that too hot in here work request for my HVAC unit. I can see all the details of that, and I can take action on this. So I can actually even reject this. I can send a note back to the requester saying why it was rejected, or I can approve it. And once it's approved, it's going to generate into a work order. And this is an editable work order form. So I can put in my scheduled date, when I want this done for my techs, estimated hours, the location, if more information is needed. I can assign it out. So you can assign it out to an in-house employee, vendor, contractor, whoever it's needed. So let's give it to one of my technicians here. Give it to my technician, Ben. Gonna hit save. I could put an even more detailed work description if needed. Now I don't have to. I actually don't have to type anything in if I don't want to. You can have tasks preloaded within eMaint that I can choose from. Let me see, I think I have here. Let's do an HVAC system check. It's too hot. I'm going to do my HVAC system check. And it'll fill all that information in for me. You can upload images, documents, like I mentioned before. And once I hit save, now my technician, Janine, it's letting me know I left a field blank. So you can have required fields too. So here, my required field is priority. So I need to let my technician know if it's an emergency, normal, low priority, whatever it may be. And you can have as many required fields as you want. It doesn't have to just be priority. It can be whatever field that you would like within the system that won't be able to be left blank before hitting save. So that's it. Now my work request turned into a work order, and I assigned it out to my technician, Ben. And as I mentioned before, they can get notified by you printing it out and handing it to them, by emailing a PDF copy over to them, or giving them access to that text select view on a smartphone or tablet device. So next, we're going to go into inventory. You have the ability to keep track of all your spare parts, all your raw materials within the system. As I mentioned, I showed on the asset level, you can have related parts shown there, and that's pulling from this inventory table. So I can easily search and sort up here at the top if I like. Let me pull up my belts here. I'll pull up my HVAC belt. I can see how many I have on hand, how many I have on order, and I'm actually able to set a reorder point. So once my on-hand quantity reaches that reorder point, the system will let me know that I have to reorder more. I can keep track of different locations if you have multiple storerooms and the quantity that you have in those storerooms. Your item suppliers, so your primary, secondary suppliers, the last purchase cost, as well as 12-month part history. So you can see how often this part is actually being used and any additional related items. So I can see all the related assets that this belt is actually tied to, all warranty information tied to this. And you also can generate the barcodes and QR codes just like you can for your assets. Now you can manage contacts within the system as well. So all of your employees, contractors, tenants, suppliers, whoever is needed that you would like to have better manage on. Again, you have the ability to search and sort. I can pull up, let's find my technician, Janine. I can keep track of her hourly rate. So before, when she was signing on and signing off to her work orders, it's going to automatically calculate her labor based on this field here. Now, this field can be hidden from view from some people, so maybe only myself as the administrator can see that, but my maintenance lead won't have visibility into that. If you have a lot of service contractors, keep track of it when the contract's going to end, have that attached to their file. Any certifications or training that's needed. So pretty straightforward. You can manage driver's license information and insurance information, emergency contact information as well. We also have a projects table, so you keep track of any small, large-scale projects. Here I have 2 completed ones, but just to give you an example, here is a new maintenance building that I'm tracking. I was able to keep track of my start, end date, my budgeting, so my budget versus actual. So this is a great way. So if you have that large, small-scale project, keep everything all in one location. So you can have the floor plans, the drawings, any required documents for contractors, things like that, as well as all work orders. So all the work orders for this project are in one location. You can see what's scheduled, what was been done, as well as total cost. So next we're going to wrap up with the reports and dashboards. So our system does come preloaded with reports already in there. Now I have quite a few reports that I have built in my account. I have over 112 of them. I'm not going to go through every single one of them today, but that's a great thing about eMaint. So it does come preloaded with reports, but you have the ability to create any type of report that's needed for your organization. As long as you have the field and you're capturing the data, a report can be created on it. The reports can be ran in a couple different formats, so graph, HTML, PDF, CSV, Excel. You can email reports out to people who are not users within the system, and you can publish them to dashboards. So the dashboard is a great way for administrators, supervisors. They're not going to go to each individual record or each individual work order if it's not needed. This is a great way to have that visibility, have that transparency, what's happening at a quick glance. So I can see all the work assignments, all my work that's assigned out, who it's assigned out to. Now, I don't have any other work orders, but I can manage the workload of my other technicians if needed too. Here's some additional, all of my open work orders by type, my open versus created for the previous month, any by location. Also have different capital planning and forecasting, so you're able to keep track of straight line depreciation, life expectancy, budget versus spend for a specific piece of equipment, as well as some miscellaneous. So I have availability reports. You keep track of all of your maintenance technicians, and if they have that text select view, when they're signed on, it'll show them as not available and what work order they're signed on to. but if they're all available, well, you got to get some work over to them. Keep track of downtime. As I mentioned, you're able to keep track of your downtime for each piece of equipment. So if you have any critical ones that you need to manage, you can have it displayed in a report with this up-down indicator. Warranty tracking. Let's see, some inventory. Now, these are just all examples, of the flexibility of the reporting engine that we have built into the system. It's really what's going to make your life easier, what's important to you to see on a day-to-day basis. Now, also the reports can be individualized. So maybe I need to see certain reports, but my maintenance lead, he needs certain reports. He needs to see maybe the work assignments, making sure the team is keeping up on the work that's assigned, but he doesn't need to see anything else. So you can have individual reports published to each account, or you can share. So here I have what that little lock is. I'm able to hide reports. This is just visible to me. But everything else I'm able to push globally to the other users within the system if I choose. So that's everything I had on the agenda today. Again, just high-level overview of the functionality we have to offer. If there's any questions you may have on this demonstration, feel free to reach out to me directly. Here is my contact information. Let me just get back to my slide deck. Down here. So here is my contact information. Feel free to email me, call me with any questions, anything that you would like to see in a little more detail, or you're just curious. It wasn't shown on today, but you'd like to have an understanding of if we can handle that or not within our system. All right, thanks everyone. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.